cover your electric bill. 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2023. Get the federal 26% solar and battery tax credit. $500 off for military, first responders, and healthcare workers. Call now or visit sempersolaris.com.
Well, what have we here? A magical...
Halloween time is back in Disneyland and Disney California Adventure Parks.
Breaking news and live feeds. Download the YourCentralValley.com app. The CBS 47 studio is sponsored by Sanger Chevrolet Buick GMC, Fresno County's only Chevrolet Buick GMC dealer. Eyewitness News starts now.
Coming up on Eyewitness News this morning, 2 people hospitalized in a shooting at Millerton Lake, including a teenage girl. The latest on the investigation. And Hurricane Ida battering the Gulf Coast. We check in now in New Orleans for a look at some of the damages left behind next.
And weather-wise, temperatures on the rise, at least for the start of the week. A look at the full forecast is coming up.
This is Murrow and Emmy Award-winning CBS 47 Eyewitness News this morning.
It's 6 o'clock now. First this morning, Millerton Lake expected to reopen this morning as sheriff's deputies investigate a shooting that sent 2 people to the hospital. And good morning, I'm Megan Roop. Thank you for joining us this Monday. And the shooting happened around 6:30 last night at Millerton Lake State Park near the Crow's Nest boat ramp on the west side of the lake. The Fresno County Sheriff's Office believes the shooting is gang-related. Investigators say a man and a teenage girl were shot. And they say both the man and his friends are considered suspects. They also believe a friend of the teenage girl may have fired back at the suspects.
We have 2 men that we believe are suspected shooters. We believe that the young lady is a victim. What we're trying to sort out is, did somebody on her side fire back at the suspects?
And both the man and the teenager are expected to recover. Officers say the area is safe at this time. Stay with Eyewitness News for continuing coverage of this investigation. You can get breaking news alerts if you have our app or find us online at YourCentralValley.com. Another shooting investigation underway in the South Valley. Police say a man opened fire in a busy Visalia shopping center. And this happened yesterday afternoon in the parking lot of Mary's Vineyard Shopping Center off of East Noble Avenue. Police say a man shot a woman and then turned the gun on himself. Officers say the woman later died at the hospital.
We've been to all the local businesses and got all the video that we believe is out there, so they're sifting through that. Once we have a definitive answer to why this happened, we'll do an updated press release.
And police ask if anyone has more information to please give them a call. We're watching those stories for you this morning, but let's go ahead and check in now on our forecast and also what's happening with Hurricane Ida with our Anthony Bailey. Hi, Anthony.
Yeah, good morning, Megan. You know, we've been keeping a very close eye on it. Of course, all eyes on the Gulf right now. And we'll give you a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar there. This is the latest live radar image. What we're looking at is the remains of Ida. It is no longer a Category 4 storm like it made landfall at. 140-mile-an-hour winds now down to 45 miles an hour. The problem is, folks, the storm is only moving north at 8 miles an hour, and that gives it the ability to dump massive amounts of rain on very small areas. Now, we'll see it tracking into the southern parts of the Midwest and then eventually on out into the Pacific here over the next couple of days. Back here at home, it's the opposite side of the spectrum. Air quality warning due to wildfire smoke still impacting the valley and will continue to do so for quite a while. 60s and 70s on the temperature front, but we will see some comfortable afternoon temperatures coming up. We'll talk all about that in your full pinpoint forecast.
All right, Anthony, thank you. We know millions along the Gulf Coast are grappling with the deadly impacts of Hurricane Ida. It is one of the worst hurricanes to ever hit Louisiana. These are live pictures now from New Orleans. You can see the cloud cover there, very heavy, and we've learned at least 1 person has died after the storm knocked down a tree. Michael George joining us in the New Orleans French Quarter with more on this massive storm.
Hurricane Ida has weakened, but the danger is still very real. This morning, people in New Orleans are dealing with rising floodwaters, a citywide power outage, and a 911 system that at times was completely shut down.
Oh my God!
Ida's powerful winds blew the roof off this hospital as it made landfall in Lafourche Parish, Louisiana on Sunday. The storm came ashore as a Category 4 hurricane, exactly 16 years to the day Katrina hit the region. Packing winds of up to 150 miles per hour, it's tied as the 5th strongest hurricane to hit the U.S.
This storm was total devastation to our area.
Jean Lafitte Mayor Tim Kerner told CBS affiliate WWL they're trying to get boats to reach people trapped in their homes now that the eye of the storm has passed.
You can't look left, right, back, or front without seeing high water.
Further south in Grand Isle, 40 people defied a mandatory evacuation order and rode out the storm.
First responders cannot get to you, so those folks are just going to have to hunker down.
Here in New Orleans, the entire city lost power after all transmission lines were down. Still, officials remain confident that the changes they made since Katrina could prevent a repeat of the disastrous result we saw 16 years ago.
Now is the time that we have been preparing for.
The city spent $14 billion upgrading its levee system to handle storms such as Ida. The National Hurricane Center says Ida will continue producing heavy rainfall today throughout the southeast.
Right around that center area, some areas 10 to 20 inches of rain.
President Biden approved emergency declarations for Louisiana and Mississippi. Thousands of utility workers are on standby, ready to move in to try and restore power, but they can't begin that process until the storm passes. But officials said prior to the storm it could take days, even weeks, to fully restore power. In New Orleans, Michael George, back to you.
And emergency crews from across the country are on standby, ready to help in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida as soon as it's safe to do so. And that includes crews from here in California. California search and rescue personnel have been deployed to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And the Oakland-based team includes 35 members and 10 ground support personnel. They're trained to provide water rescues, canine searches, medical needs, and other life-saving measures. And continuing coverage, the deadline for the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Afghanistan is now less than 48 hours away. And the White House says more than 120,000 people have been evacuated. But as operations start to wind down, the threat of violence is increasing. And officials say U.S. anti-missile defenses intercepted as many as 5 rockets aimed at Kabul's airport. A U.S. drone strike also took out a vehicle that may have been a fully loaded car bomb. Officials are looking into reports of casualties, and they say any Americans still in Afghanistan will be able to get out by tomorrow.
Have the capacity to have 300 Americans, which is roughly the number we think are remaining, come to the airport and get on planes in the time that is remaining.
The weekend in Delaware, the president and first lady attended the arrival of the remains of 13 troops killed in last week's airport attack. And the president also met privately with military families and stood with them for the dignified transfer of remains. In Southern California, community members are stopping by a growing memorial outside Camp Pendleton near San Diego. It honors those fallen service members. And you can see people leaving things like flowers, cards, and flags.
The patriotism doesn't go by area or state. It impacts all of us. I think any parent can sympathize, and anybody that is voting for the American people. And I'd like to see the American people be a priority and get them out first.
And 10 of the service members who died were assigned at Camp Pendleton. 4 were from the California area. In our wildfire coverage, South Lake Tahoe is officially under an evacuation warning now due to the Caldor fire. Firefighters have been working hard trying to prevent the fire from spreading into the Tahoe area. And they dealt with tough conditions over the weekend, battling the blaze, smoke, and oppressive heat all at once.
These people are like wildland athletes. I mean, to do what they do and do what I've done for 27 years, it takes a lot of conditioning and drive and motivation and just the utmost respect for what they're doing.
And at last check, the Caldor fires burned more than 168,000 acres. It's just 13% contained. Well, it's 6:08 now this morning. It's still ahead on Eyewitness News this Monday. It was an exciting night at Fresno's Save March Center. Definitely heart-pounding. Professional bull riding finally made a comeback. We have more on the experience for fans next.
And weather-wise, we're tracking cooler conditions on the way after a hot start to the week. I'll explain it all coming up. But first, the 4-day allergy forecast brought to you by Boss Allergy.
300,000 drunk driving accidents on roads every day, many resulting in the loss of our loved ones. But you can help bring an end to this preventable crime. Walk Like Mad with CBS 47 and Mothers Against Drunk Driving, September 25th.
Expect more from the Sanger Solid Pre-Owned Sales Event from Sanger Chevrolet Buick GMC. Expect a huge inventory of cars, trucks, and SUVs, all certified Sanger Solid.
Sanger Solid.
Expect the highest value on your trade-in, and every pre-owned vehicle comes with a Sanger Solid 20-point inspection by our GM certified mechanics.
Sanger Solid.
Don't miss the Sanger Solid Pre-Owned Sales Event going on now from Sanger Chevrolet Buick GMC on Academy in downtown Sanger.
This is Sanger Solid.
Get the most cash for your Rolex watch. Central Valley. We specialize in buying and selling vintage and pre-owned Rolex watches. Visit ValleyWatchFirm.com, the experts for all your Rolex needs. Valley Watch Firm, we won't waste your time.
It's official. More than 70 firms to in-person instruction and are back on campus. The start of a new school year means more traffic, more buses on the roads, and more students crossing busy streets to get to school. Please slow down in school zones and help us ensure students arrive safe, on time, and ready to learn. For more information about the district's return to campus, including health and safety practices, please visit fresnounified.org.
Experience the possibilities of anti-aging medicine at Maj Medical Clinic. Dr. Majzubi's treatment uses the healing benefits of your own stem cells for your optimum health.
I had stabbing pains in my legs from the neuropathy. It kept coming up. I did a lot of research, and it kept coming up with stem cells. It was a miracle, honestly. I felt better the next day.
If you're suffering from asthma, COPD, arthritis, autoimmune disease, or other neurologic conditions, call Maj Medical Clinic and see if stem cell treatment and cellular therapy are right for you.
Get the most cash for your Rolex watch at Valley Watch Firm, your #1 Rolex resource in the Central Valley. We specialize in buying and selling vintage and pre-owned Rolex watches. Visit ValleyWatchFirm.com, the experts for all your Rolex needs. Valley Watch Firm, we won't waste your time.
Immediate information from CBS 47. Download the YourCentralValley.com app. Now, your CBS 47 pinpoint weather forecast.
Well, good morning and happy Monday. I'm Anthony Bailey here with a check of your forecast. Weather-wise, it's looking like a pretty good week. Weather for us as far as the temperature goes. And of course, we'll give you a live look outside of what you're seeing this morning where the weather's nice and mild and calm for us. We're taking a look at our live valley cam right now. It's at 180 there in Peach, and you can see, boy, the hustle and bustle of the Fresno metro area is in full swing this morning. Weather-wise, it's holding up quite nicely for us out there, and we will expect it to stay pretty comfortable through most of your morning commute. A little hot on tap later today. All right, switching gears, we'll give you a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. We have been following the latest on what is now a tropical storm, Ida, there moving north there out of the Louisiana area and continuing to carry, well, a lot of rain packed in it. A couple of other things going on. We'll bring your attention to tropical storm warning still in place there along the Gulf and moving inland through Louisiana and points north of that. Also, keep in mind, a lot of times when you have those hurricanes, we start to see the storm spinning up. So there's also tornado watches there in and around the eastern side of that storm system as it continues to make its way north. Ida right now, a tropical storm packing 45-mile-an-hour winds with it. The storm track takes it up towards southern Ohio and on through West Virginia, out eventually through the Washington area here. And that'll carry us all the way through about Thursday before it makes its way out into the Atlantic. Back home here, it's a drier picture, but we're still dealing with our own weather issues in the form of air quality warnings as the fires continue to grow. In fact, we talked to you about those evacuations continuing there north of us. So wildfire smoke's going to be around our area for a while. On the temperature front, we're back in the mild range for Fresno, Los Banos, also in the 70s this morning. Beyond those two communities, we're back in the 60s to start your morning off, so a nice cool start for most valley floor locations, very similar to what we saw yesterday. The temperatures in the afternoon won't be as hot today, and the winds certainly very calm across the region. Now, we'll give you a look at what we saw yesterday. 106 was the high for the Fresno area, 95. That's your normal high for this time of year, and we will see triple digits again for the start of this week and potentially again for some communities on tomorrow, although A bit of a moderation starts for us by the middle of the week, and that brings back the return of 90s, something we can all smile about. In fact, by Wednesday, we're looking at only a high of 94 degrees there. Triple digits, though, from Merced to Visalia today. 86 on tap for Shaver and 102 for the Yosemite Valley. We do see air quality across the region unhealthy for sensitive groups for all valley counties. Your extended forecast at the 5,000-foot mark will show 80s today and tomorrow with 70s on tap for the day. Wednesday, and right here on the valley floor, yes, a little smoke today, still dealing with haze out there, no doubt about that. But 91 degrees arrives on Thursday. Something I'm really looking forward to, those overnight lows. It's the first time in a while we've seen this, but Wednesday night into Thursday, folks, back down into the upper 50s.
Notice that right off the bat.
Yes.
I said, that one sticks out. That's different.
We need those. And if you're like me, you just like it nice and cool in the evenings when you're heading to sleep. And
can't sleep when it's too hot. Absolutely not. And hopefully that our air quality clears
can
up
improve
as
eventually.
well.
You know, and of course all the firefighters out there. This is good news for those folks because of not only all the gear they pack with them, but all the stuff.
Yeah, it's harder to keep the energy up and do your job when it's just sweltering. That's terrible. So we're glad to see some relief. All right, Anthony, thank you. And it was an action-packed weekend at Fresno's Save Mart Center. Fans got the chance to watch the professional bull riders Velocity Tour after it was canceled last year due to the pandemic. Face masks were encouraged, but the event did not require proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test. And organizers say both the fans and the riders were ready for the action.
We've been doing it for so long, being a professional, you don't have adrenaline like during the ride. It's actually more after the ride that it ends up hitting you. So, man, you feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof whenever you ride one.
And PBR is returning to the Save Mart Center March 19th and 20th next year. Well, 6:15 now this morning. And coming up next on Eyewitness News, a security breach at LAX. How airport police caught the trespasser.
Wall Street sits at new highs, and where to go? Deals. I'm done. Of those stories and more in your CBS Money Watch report.
Allard's Art is your local source for all of your drawing and painting needs, from blank canvas to professional framing, plus the Valley's largest assortment of fine pens. Allard's Art on Blackstone and Barstow.
For more information on this business, go to yourcentralvalley.com and click on Central Valley Local.
Toyota's national sales event is on now.
This Labor Day, get $750 cash back on the adventurous RAV4.
It all ends September 7th.
Toyota, let's go places.
Take it, risk it, take it, risk it. The Tachi Palace presents the $440,000 Take It or Risk It hot seats. The more you risk, the more you could win. Every Friday in September from 5 to 10 p.m. One winner will be drawn every half hour to play Take It or Risk It. You could win up to $10,000. $10K, that's a risk I'm willing to take. The $440K Take It or Risk It hot seats, only at the Tachi Palace Casino Resort in Lemoore.
Attention, this message is for the survivors of abuse by the Catholic Church. Colorado, California, and Illinois have extended the window to file a claim for victims of childhood sexual abuse. It doesn't matter how long ago it happened.
If you or someone you love were a victim of sexual abuse by a priest, any employee, or other Catholic Church official, now is the time to hold these abusers accountable. We are here to help. Call Right to Fight now for a free and confidential consultation regarding your case.
800-793-6960.
You could be eligible for financial compensation after years of suffering in silence. Remember, you are not alone. More survivors are stepping forward every day to help stop the abuse.
If you or a family member were a victim of abuse by an authority figure in the Catholic Church, stand up for your justice and make the confidential free call to Right to Fight now.
800-793-6960.
The time to file in your state may be limited due to strict deadlines. Your claim may not be accepted if you wait.
Toyota's national sales event is on now.
This Labor Day, get $750 cash back on Highlander and Highlander Hybrid.
It all ends September 7th.
Toyota, let's go places.
Now yourcentralvalley.com, pros who know.
Increase the efficiency of your home's closets. We specialize in both walk-in and reach-in designs that fit your budget and style. Call now for a free in-home consultation.
For more expert advice, go to yourcentralvalley.com/pros who know.
The latest conditions live. The CBS 47 Valley Cam Network on Eyewitness News. This is CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Well, some scary moments for passengers at LAX after a homeless man breached security, walked across the tarmac, and then boarded a parked plane. And this happened early yesterday morning. Airport police say the man pried up the bottom of a fence and slipped underneath. They say he tried to board an American Airlines plane that was being serviced when he was caught by the cleaning crew. Officials say there are layers of security to try and prevent these types of situations.
The system, basically the way it is now, people will be able to access the airfield illegally. But as long as we can catch them, as long as they don't get to an airplane, then the system has functionally worked. One layer might have failed, but other layers succeeded.
For someone to just walk down there so easily is definitely concerning.
And police say the suspect was arrested for trespassing. Well, for the first time in 9 months, drivers are finally feeling some relief at the pump. Gas Buddy reports national fuel prices have fallen more than 2 cents in the last week, averaging about 3 cents a gallon. And experts say there's been a drop in oil prices and a weakening demand for gas. But compared to this time last year, experts say the price is still 97 cents higher. Here in Fresno, gas prices fell more than 5 cents in the last week, bringing the average to $3.98 a gallon. Statewide, drivers are paying about $4.40 a gallon on average. Hey, if you're looking for work right now, here are a few of the positions open up on our job corner. Whole Foods is hiring a meat team member. Skechers USA needs a retail floor leader, and Pet Supplies Plus is looking for a groom student. You can get these listings and more on our website, yourcentralvalley.com. Just click that tab that says jobs. Well, CVS is limiting how many COVID tests you can buy, and some early Labor Day sales to watch for. Diane King Hall has more in this morning's Money Watch.
Wall Street kicks off a new week with 2 of the major indexes sitting at record highs. On Friday, the Dow rallied 242 points. The Nasdaq gained 183, marking an all-time high. And the S&P 500 also hit a record, adding 39. The bleeding on the nation's balance sheet is expected to decline this year. The Biden administration is predicting this year's budget deficit will be $555 billion less than its May estimate. That's thanks to the economy recovering quicker than forecast. Even with the improved projection, the deficit is still expected to top $3 trillion this year, which would be the second largest in history. CVS is capping the number of COVID tests consumers can buy. The drugstore chain is now limiting purchases to 6 tests at most online, and according to Bloomberg, the cap comes amid a surge in demand along with supply chain issues. Retailers are gearing up for Labor Day with a slew of sales. Home Depot has already kicked things off with deals on smart home devices, including appliances. Bed Bath & Beyond sales start September 1st with discounts of as much as 50%. Macy's is offering discounts on clothing, accessories, and jewelry, and Walmart is offering deep discounts on furniture and electronics. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Well, 6:22 now this morning, and coming up next, encouraging diversity in the great outdoors. We meet the man trying to do just that with his new company next.
I'm leaving the studio and hitting the road. Okay, so what do we got, gang? To help real families.
Why are you not on Dad's side? I am on Dad's side.
With real problems.
I don't want to be in his marriage.
I'm making house calls. May I come in?
Oh.
Dr. Phil.
Oh, my God. Sometimes it just feels like it's fake.
Ask the questions. Why did you do that?
We need to mend this.
The past is over. The only time is now.
I didn't set out to hurt my family, but ultimately drugs and alcohol were stronger than my love for them. My love for me, I had no idea. I got to a point where I feared living more than dying, and I could either let myself go for good or ask for help.
Recovery starts here. Get help. Provider. Call First Steps now or visit us online.
Today's health crisis has made keeping your company compliant more challenging than ever. HR Mobile Services is here to guide you through these difficult times. We assist with human resources, infectious disease response, safety compliance, policies and procedures, and more. Let HR Mobile Services help you create a safe and compliant workplace so your employees can focus on their work and you can focus on your business. Big or small businesses from all industries, call HR Mobile Services. Here for you 24/7.
Summer is a time for fun. It's family vacations, the beach, and backyard barbecues. Here at Clovis Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, it's our Make This the Summer event. And it's a great time to save with special offers like these. Get no payments for 90 days and 0% APR for 72 months on award-winning vehicles like these. So whether you're headed out there or staying in the backyard, start your summer here. Come experience the Clovis difference.
If it's time for a new air conditioner, breathe easy and get the power of... Call now and save with a new energy-efficient air conditioner from Lennox, Wi-Fi smart thermostat, and an indoor air purification system. Get all three right now, starting at just $89.99 a month. Get the power of 3. And breathe easy this summer with help from Brian's Heating and Cooling. When honesty and quality matter, call Brian's Heating and Cooling.
This is CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
Well, the pandemic has motivated many Americans to explore the great outdoors, but not a diverse mix of Americans. The latest data shows that visitors to some of the best places, our national parks, are overwhelmingly white. Jesse Mitchell met a man leading the way to more diverse campfires everywhere.
Come on in the room.
Earl Hunter is a trailblazer, walking a path for others to learn, for others to follow.
You just stay on the trail so you don't make false trails.
Hunter is the founder of Black Folks Camp 2.
All right, can you take that one?
He started the North Carolina-based company in 2019 after a cross-country road trip with his son. In their 3-month trip, Hunter says they met just one other black family.
When we were driving through Holbrook, Arizona, the Petrified Forest, I had this thought, this is my legacy.
Hunter quit his job as an executive in the RV industry, making it his business to get black people out and into the great outdoors. Yeah. Like Brian Myers from Columbia, South Carolina.
When you live in these four walls, that's all you see, that's all you know a lot of times.
We met outside Pisgah National Forest around what Hunter calls the Unity Blaze. It's a place for sharing and tough talk about the past. Carlos Grant is a new camper from Greenville, South Carolina.
You probably can link it back to slavery and the aspects of what the tree meant to a black man. So I know I was always taught, or, whether it's good or bad, black folks don't camp, we don't go swimming, we don't do canoeing. Right. That's white folk stuff, right?
Hunter wants to end that fear by connecting business and tourism to a neglected demographic. The size of the outdoors industry, plus the spending power of our black population, what will that do moving forward?
I think that's a $100 billion loss every year by the industry not driving it to black folks.
His mission, to get black folks to camp with anyone and everyone.
We're going to get everybody around that campfire and start having some conversation. And we're going to find out we got more sayings than we have differences.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Illuminating the possibilities, one campfire at a time. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News, Brevard, North Carolina.
Gotta love the great outdoors. 6:27 now this morning, and let's give you a live look over our great outdoors over the valley as you wake up this morning. Anthony's got your full pinpoint forecast next with an update on your air quality. Stay with us. You're watching Eyewitness News this morning.
Every day, Onacar customers are experiencing the power of no score, no more. Evelyn, recently divorced, unfortunately, her credit took a hit. We believe that situation shouldn't matter. She's about to discover the power of no score, no more. Find out for yourself at Onacar.com.
Hey, San Joaquin Valley.
Thanks to your hard work, our air quality is improving.
By working together, we can continue to clean up our valley's air.
Together, we can get more electric and hybrid vehicles on the road.
Together, we can switch to electric yard care equipment. Together, we can improve public health.
It's up to all of us to improve our air.
By working together, we're making it better.
For more information, visit valleyair.org. A message from the Valley Air District.
As a healthcare provider, I feel lucky to work for an organization that cares about the patients as much as I do. At Omni Family Health, your health is our priority.
I take pride in knowing our patients hear my voice first, and I am part of the quality experience our patients receive.
I love caring for people every day. We are accepting new patients.
Our family serving yours. Omni Family Health.
This message is for the survivors of abuse by the Catholic Church.
If you or someone you love were a victim of sexual abuse by a priest, any employee, or other Catholic Church official, you could be eligible for financial compensation after years of suffering in silence. Call Right to Fight now.
If you or a family member were a victim of abuse by an authority figure in the Catholic Church, make the confidential free call now.
800-817-2490.
The time to file in your state may be limited due to strict deadlines. Your claim may not be accepted if you wait.
Every day, Own-A-Car customers are experiencing the benefits of No Score, No More. Daniel recently graduated, needed a vehicle, but is a first-time buyer with no prior credit history. He's about to experience the power of No Score, No More. Find out for yourself at ownacar.com.
CBS 47 Eyewitness News is always available at yourcentralvalley.com. Eyewitness News starts now.
Coming up on Eyewitness News this morning, U.S. troops under attack as they work to evacuate all Americans from Afghanistan by Tuesday's looming deadline. And South Lake Tahoe residents under evacuation warning as the counter-fire spreads. We have the latest on the firefight in Northern California.
And smoke from those wildfires still impacting air quality right here on the valley floor. Stick around, that full forecast is coming up.
This is Merle and Emmy Award-winning CBS 47 Eyewitness News this morning.
Well, it's 6:30 now. First this morning, Millerton Lake expected to reopen this morning as sheriff's deputies investigate a shooting that sent 2 people to the hospital. And good morning, I'm Megan Roop. Thank you for joining us this Monday. And that shooting happened around 6:30 last night at Millerton Lake State Park near the Crow's Nest boat ramp on the west side of the lake. The Fresno County Sheriff's Office believes the shooting is gang-related. Investigators say a man and a teenage girl were shot. They say both the man and his friend are considered suspects, and they also believe a friend of the teenage girl may have fired back at the suspects. Visitors were held at the park for several hours as investigators questioned them and combed the area for evidence.
People out here trying to enjoy a weekend at the park, and you have this gang crap basically overflow and infiltrate a nice place that people are supposed to go and hang out.
Both the man and teenager are expected to recover, and officers say the area is safe at this time.